G'day Essence. I can definitely do a bit of a deep dive on this. Now, this is pure speculation. I don't know exactly how the LMCT Plus business works or how Adrian Portelli has set it up. However, I can give you some insights around how I believe that business has worked and why it is so valuable in the marketplace. So let's get stuck in. So for those of you who don't know the LMCT Plus business, it is basically a subscription-based business that as being a member of this subscription, you get access to certain perks, whether it be discounts and whatnot at certain retailers, but primarily you are a member because you want to get access to the prize draws that they give away. They've given away houses, block houses, they've given away huge money, they've given away Land Cruisers and all of these other great prizes. I think it's a fantastic idea, and it's basically a modern version of the old raffles that we used to see when we go to like our local shopping centre, where like the Rotary Association and all of these other associations would get you to go into the draw to win a beachfront mansion on the Sunshine Coast or whatever, and basically you'd enter in once and you'd never hear from them again. The idea of the business that Adrian Portelli has created and the reason why it's been so successful is that it is another subscription as a service business. This is the difference between a goodwill business, a business that basically transacts one time or on a kind of transactional basis, right? You go through a shopping centre, you opt in for a raffle, and then you need to walk past another one of those on a completely separate occasion in order to transact again. That is a very traditional goodwill business. Whereas LMCT Plus is a subscription-based business whereby you are sold once, and until such a time as you cancel that subscription, you pay each and every single week, fortnight, month for that particular subscription, right? And what that results in is it results in a stickier client because you only sell them once. You basically don't need to start back at $1 each and every single month. Two, you have recurring revenue as a result, so you've got predictability around future cash flows. And three, based on the number of clients that you've got and the longer that you run your business, you have the ability to understand what is called the lifetime value of a customer. So for example, let's say that an individual spends $100 per month and you know that they are with you for 36 months, then the lifetime value of that customer is $3,600. Now, if you multiply that by tens of thousands or potentially hundreds of thousands, I don't even know how many subscribers Adrian Portelli has, but I suspect it must be in the hundreds of thousands now. You now can utilize that in order to understand how much you can spend on prizes. So of that lifetime value of a customer, how much are you prepared to spend per customer on prizes? Obviously, the more customers he's got, and the better you know your lifetime customer value, the more impressive the prizes you can give away. And more importantly, how much can you afford to spend on customer acquisition through advertising? Because, for example, if Adrian, it costs him $1,200 to acquire a customer, but he's making $3,600 over the lifetime of that customer, and he can rinse and repeat that forever, then that is a really high growth business with tremendous positive cash flows and also a very aggressive valuation, which is the reason why I think at last count, he's valued at about $1.6 billion. The vast majority of that being his LMCT Plus business, which I suspect has been valued at a multiple that's aligned with software as a service businesses, because although he's not selling software, his subscription model has a very similar financial model to a software business, with the added difference being that he has no upkeep in terms of the software, and the only thing he needs to do is to front the cost of the prizes, which with his lifetime value of a customer, it means that they're worth a lot of money. Now, the challenge with something like this is there's been copycats that have come into this business. There's a relatively low barrier to entry for this type of business. Like anyone can go out there and buy a Land Cruiser 79 and try and get subscribers and have those subscriber base above and beyond, right? It's not like it's a new value proposition. Raffles and these types of businesses have been around for a long time. Because of the low barrier to entry, it was a traditional model that has been disrupted by a new entrepreneur, being Adrian Portelli, who has been able to take this business and get it to a substantial economy of scale, build a brand, and capture market share. And as a result of doing that, he has increased the barrier of entry for success for other people who are copying this. We've seen recently, I don't know the exact names, but there's been a couple of businesses that have copycatted that have actually failed because they couldn't get it to work. There's a certain economy of scale that you need to create for this business to work. So it's a really interesting case study on business value proposition. I think if we can learn anything as service business owners is one, the power of recurring revenue. Our business is a recurring revenue business, and one of our KPIs in our business is that we need to make sure that our recurring revenue equals 100% of our expenses, meaning that essentially without having to sign on a single new customer, we are always at a point of profitability. We can cover our costs, so any growth is cream on top. If you don't have a recurring revenue in your business, you need to look at creating recurring revenue streams, because it's a fantastic way for you to have certainty, for you to not have to worry about being on the hamster wheel of new client acquisition, to maximize lifetime customer value, and to create a higher business valuation. The next thing that we can learn from this is that traditional business models are ripe for disruption. So either you need to look for opportunities to disrupt your industry, because if you're in a traditional industry that's done things a particular way, then you have an opportunity there. But there's also a threat that someone like Adrian Portelli can come along and disrupt your industry and threaten your business model. And it's really important for us to understand what are the black swan events that could hit us for a 6. And thirdly, we should be trying to build a business for a future potential sale. Now, I don't think Adrian's going to sell that business. Potentially he will later on down the track, but it's an immensely valuable business that could be sold at any time. And we build a valuable business by creating great cash flows, by understanding the valuation multiple in our industry, and making sure that we reduce key person risk in that business. And what you'll notice is that Adrian, in all of his ads, a lot of his ads, he is using other creators in order to do those ads. I can see that he's actively trying to divest himself as the face from the business, which is going to amplify that business's value. Really interesting case study. Hope this is worthwhile. Any questions, let me know in the comments.